I think we need more thinking.
It was the first game of the NBA Cup with Nuggets versus Trailblazers in a very crazy, ugly game. What happened? Let's find out. You're listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about the Nuggets with good vibes. Let's get it.
Let's try to get healthy. Let's stay together. And if we can do that, we put ourselves in a good situation.
How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler, here for another take of Nuggets basketball. Well, happy Halloween, everyone. We had the first game of the NBA Cup tonight with Nuggets versus the Trailblazers. Trailblazers at home, so Nuggets were on the road. It was a very, if you caught it, you understand what I'm saying here. It was a very chaotic, ugly game. I do not want to go back and watch that game again. I want to flush that game so bad. There was so many things wrong with that game. And we're going to get into it, but man, I am not feeling good. I'm going to try my hardest to have some good vibes in this one, but man, the Nuggets did not show up tonight. Well, first off, Jamal and Cam were both listed as questionable, but ended up being cleared to play. And to be honest, I don't know if they should have played. Jamal, I'm going to give Jamal credit. He was beaten up, and he looked beaten up. He looked slow. He looked sluggish. He still got 22 points tonight. Cam Johnson, with a bum shoulder, he also should not have played, but he got 9 points. So he's actually having a better game tonight than he did so far this entire season. Maybe against the Suns, I think he had a better game. I think he had 11 points or something like that. So maybe I'll backtrack a little bit, but still. But he did have 6 rebounds, so that's awesome. But still, like both of those should not have. You should have rested them. I know it's the NBA Cup, and they want to treat it almost like a playoff, and it definitely felt almost playoff-ish. And I kind of wish that there was another chance to go back at the Trailblazers there, but. This they should have rested them, started Tim Hardaway Jr. and Peyton Watson, and then got in some of the rest of the reserves in, because none of the rest of the reserves played. It was a 9-man rotation tonight. That was a Coach Malone type of rotation that did not go well. So our usual starters ended up, being Jokic, Jamal, CB, Cam, and Aaron Gordon. The Nuggets were in their dreaded white jerseys that I cannot stand. I can't stand those jerseys. I want them to move away from those jerseys. I mean, you can get the retro white jerseys with, the city skyline and everything. I would like that. That would be awesome. Or even, the little swoosh with the pickaxe and the chest. I could go with that. Not these ones. These ones are so basic and bland, and we keep on losing in these white jerseys, these dreaded white jerseys. So the Portland was in their red jerseys, and like I just kind of said, Portland got the freaking win. They shouldn't have, but they did. We're going to get into it. Final score, 109-107. So first off, too, before we get into it, I just want to say, too, the Avalanche played tonight. I went to the game. It was here in Las Vegas, and the Avalanche won 4-2 against the Vegas Golden Knights. It was so much fun to see them crush and shut up the Golden Knight fans. There were people walking out with 2 minutes left on the clock. And I got to see Cale Makar put in a goal. Marty Nietzsche, we had a Marty party straight like 45 seconds into the game. And then there was also Brock Nelson got a goal, and Brent Burns got a goal. Like it was super fun. And that one, there was also a little bit of like misofficiating in it. The officials, that one, it took 2 power plays for the Golden Knights to then get a goal. It was 3-on-5 at one point, and they got a goal. And then they got a power play. The Nuggets got the Avs got a power play and got a 4-on-3. But still, it took so many power plays to finally get the Golden Knights with a goal to get them on the board. And still, the Avs pushed through. They kept on pushing through. And Wedgwood is such a phenomenal goalie. I love him, man. Him, and then Mackenzie Blackwood was the backup. He didn't play tonight, but he will start tomorrow because the Avs have a back-to-back. So they're going to go into San Jose, face the Sharks tomorrow night. And Mackenzie Blackwood is supposedly going to start back again. But, if you know the Avalanche, they're called the Woodpile. And I'm so glad that Blackwood is back. Like, the Avs are rolling. They got it together. Nuggets had it together against two horrible teams. And now they fell. And I give them a pass with Golden State. Golden State is a great team, and they're definitely going to be in the top 3 by the end of the season. I hope the Nuggets maintain their level of efficiency and communication and everything to be able to stay within the top 3. Because this is just one game. There are going to be 77 more games after this. But you give them a pass on the Golden State. And then you get 2 amazing wins against 2 horrible teams that you should be getting those amazing blowout wins. We did get 1 win against the T-Wolves. Let's not forget that. We did get 1 win against the T-Wolves. But this was our next big lesson or matchup. Test, I should say. This was our next big test, and we freaking blew it. So what happened in this game? Let's break it down. First quarter, Portland wins the tip, and Yoke blocks Klingon, not able to collect the rebound, but Blazers try a 3 and miss. Jamal gets the rebound. Jamal hits a jumper, gets a late whistle for an offensive charge, so it's waved off. And then CB gets the tough rebound outlet to Jamal for a dunk and the first bucket of the game. Short-lived as Advidia knocks down a 3, and then Kamara with a floater ties the game with 7 points early on. Like the defense, Trailblazers defense, like they were both playing zone. They both were playing zone, and yet Trailblazers were playing it better than the Nuggets. The Trailblazers were able to disrupt the Nuggets offense a lot more than the Nuggets were able to disrupt the Trailblazers offense. And they were able to make the 3-ball tonight. The 3-ball was not going down for the Nuggets. And so Jokic gets his first shot with a floater to drop in to gain a 2-point lead. And then Tim Hardaway Jr., who was a godsend tonight, he, it's been kind of like the story, or the underlying story so far of the season is just how well Tim Hardaway Jr. has been off the bench. And he has given us the energy and the minutes that, or the points that we've needed. And just like he's shown really good playing time. And so he racked up 11 points tonight. Still a decent amount. I mean, he could be better, but still like within the grand aspect of the entire team, like that's still decent with when you put into account everything else. And so he knocks down a 3 from an assist from Jokic, and I'm loving that. Everything that we have been expecting Cam to do, Tim Hardaway Jr. is doing it. And so I almost kind of feel like right now that maybe Tim Hardaway Jr. should start in a place of Cam, and maybe you bench Cam for a game or 2. I mean, at this point, why not? Just mix things around, try certain things, and we already know that Adelman is trying different matchups, so why don't we try this? I know Cam is set to be your starter, but sometimes if they're not playing right, you got to bench them. CB also needs to get benched right now. I think he's too much in his own head. I think the contract really got him stressing that he needs to live up to this $25 million a year contract. And I think that he's way too much in his own head, and it's showing. Where he is scoring is in the paint, which he generally does do, but he is still like getting thrown off with these open look threes that he just does not take. Happened again tonight. And so Tim Hardaway Jr. immediately catching and releasing, just like doing what you're supposed to be doing, or why you were brought onto the squad. He is doing exactly his job. So I am loving me some Tim Hardaway Jr. right now. Let me know in the comments what you think, but I think he is phenomenal. So then followed with that, a long pass from Jokic to CB for the jam. So I'm saying I think all of CB had 5 points. And the reason why he had 5 and not hitting in a single 3 is because he made 1 of 2 free throws. The other 4 points were from 2 dunks, and I think 1 was a layup, but all in the paint. So, but it was still an amazing, play. Jokic with the definitely, like, he had a couple of long passes. There were a lot of risky assists and passing of the ball. They've been doing that a lot lately this season, and it's been stressing me the hell out. But so he long passes it down. CB catches it for the jam. Tim Hardaway Jr. then helps the Nuggets gain an 8-point lead, with the Nuggets going on a 9-2 run. And then everything went to hell. No joke. Shot clock issues that suddenly plagued the game and gets the game delayed 17 around-ish minutes. Around 17 minutes, they just are trying to figure out what's going on with the shot clock. Like the points go off, it's all of a sudden it's 0-0 again, and you got 99 minutes left in the game or in the quarter. I was like, what the hell happened? There was 30 seconds left in this quarter. Only 30 seconds left. They couldn't just bring out a stopwatch to finish out that quarter. 17 minutes? Are you kidding me? We're in 2025 now. We can't even control a freaking shot clock. Like, I know people make mistakes, that's fine, but you got to find a quick solution, not try to continually get that to work. Like, maybe get that to work while you have a stopwatch going and they're playing. You can do 2 things at once, and they were not doing that, and that was really frustrating. I'm sure it was frustrating for everyone involved. It was frustrating definitely for us that were watching it. And I don't know what Portland was doing, obviously, because we had the Denver feed, and we were looking at what Denver is doing. Denver was not doing anything during that 17 minutes. And that frustrates me, because that kind of makes me feel like that got them a period to cool off on. And if you know anything about working out and athleticism and everything, to be able to continue to doing what you are, to have good energy and to have good impact and everything, you need to maintain a level of heart rate and sweat. As soon as you cool off, you lose it, and it is real. This happened to me a couple times in the gym, and I hate it. Anytime that I am distracted with something that then makes me lose my sweat and I cool off and everything, I can't lift the way I was before the disruption. So you saw it. As soon as they started back up, shot clock happened again, like within like a half a second, it went back, and so they filled it with a little bit more. Then finally they got it to go, and in the 30 seconds left, Nuggets weren't able to do anything. And somehow Portland then all of a sudden gains momentum. And so I don't know if they were like running on a treadmill or riding a bike or something, like what the Nuggets should have done. Like, if I was Jamal Murray, especially with the hurt calf and everything, I would be riding that bike. Keep on the blood flowing. Keep it going. Don't stand around. Don't sit down. Don't take a rest. Keep the energy going. And they weren't doing that. And so there's a little bit of frustration with them. There's frustration with whatever was going on with the shot clock. And then it just, the energy is overall kind of turned. So then we get into the second quarter, and the Nuggets start the quarter off with a lineup of Big Val, Brucey B, P. Watt, Jamal, Tim Hardaway Jr., as Big Val gets a fadeaway to drop for the first points of the quarter, followed by a layup by Jamal to get the Nuggets up by 12. So we had a 12-point lead, and if you know anything about the Nuggets, no lead is safe. And really, the no lead is safe in most of the league, unless you're the OKC with a high lead, because apparently they can keep their high leads. We can't. So Blazers then hit back-to-back threes to cut it to 6. Then Sharp hits a 3, and it's a 3-point game. Just like that. Like, it happened so freaking quickly. We lost a 12-point lead in, like, seconds. All of a sudden, it was a 3-point game. Like, 3 threes will do that to you, you know? Like, you know, it kind of makes me, reminds me of the Bulls-Lakers game last season, where it was like, what was it, like 15 seconds left on the clock, and the Bulls ended up getting 12 points in, like, 12 seconds or something like that. Like, stupid stuff. Like, it was a great game for the Bulls, and I love that for them, especially beating the Lakers in that fashion. But still, like, you can't let the other team get 12 consecutive points or 9 consecutive points in seconds. That should be taking minutes for them to do. And the Blazers just breezed right through the defense of the Nuggets, racked up 9 points quickly to knock it down to a 3-point game. Then Jokic checks back in at the 8:34 mark, and Jamal and Brucey B back-to-back buckets get the Nuggets back to a 6-point lead, layup and one of 2 free throws that they shoot. And so then Jokic slings to P-Watt for a slam, and followed by a steal by P-Watt. This was an amazing play. So it was a consecutive thing. Jokic did, again, that outlet pass, that long heave pass down to P-Watt for a jam. It was amazing. We're feeling high. We're like, yeah, let's go. And then P-Watt gets this amazing steal where he catches the ball with one hand and then pushes it down in transition, layup or passes it down to Brucey B for the layup. Phenomenal. Loved it. Chef's kiss. You know, then Grant was so freaking annoying in this game. I can't stand him. I can't stand Sharp. I can't stand Avdija. Like, they were all annoying me. Kamara, Murray, their Murray, not our Murray, but their Murray, even though Murray was a little bit bothering me too on our end. But Grant nails a 3, gets fouled by Bruce. Shouldn't have been a foul, but he got fouled by Bruce. Sent him to the line for a 4-point play. Damn it, I hate the freaking fouling the jump shooters. That's the biggest thing I can't stand. Do not foul a jump shooter. And here we have one of our contenders for Mr. Nugget fouling a jump shooter. And then Avdija ties it on a 8-0 run. Like, crazy in the second quarter. The second quarter was a brutal quarter. Did not like it. Murray hits a 3 to get the Nuggets first to 50. So you think there's some kind of life left. You're like, yeah, they can get it. They've done this before. They'll get it out. Portland grabs the lead with 30 seconds left in the quarter. Then Jokic drains a 3, gives the Nuggets a 2-point lead. But Portland wins the second quarter, 35-31. Nuggets were still on top, though, going into the half, 57-53. Third quarter starts. The Nuggets start off with their starters, Jokic, Jamal, AG, Cam, Christian Brown. And they start off with Jokic turning the ball over. The turnovers were another big issue tonight. Like, the responsibility to control the ball was not there from the Nuggets. And I'm sure that they're beating themselves up. I hope that they are. Like, you gotta control it. You learn from this game and make sure it never happens again the rest of this season, because this was the things that happened wrong in this should not have been what happened wrong. If you are defending the best you can and they score on you, that's fine. You're doing your job. But when you turn the ball over on stupid plays, they turned the ball over too. And so they were giving you the ball back essentially to try to then enhance the lead. And yet we would not convert points off of these turnovers. And so Jokic turns over the ball and both teams go back and forth without scoring until Cam, long heave to Christian Brown for a layup, gets fouled, goes to the line for 2, makes 1 of 2 for the first bucket of the quarter. So that's what happened. He didn't make the layup, but it was a long heave from Cam to CB, and then he goes for that free throw, that one free throw that he makes of 2. Should be making both. You just signed your contract. You gotta be making both of those free throws. When you make that much money, you just got to. Jokic drains another 3, his third, or should have been his third, but they downgrade it to a 2. So he ends up making 2 of 3. So not helping. I mean, it's still decently high efficiency, but still, I was really hoping for that 100% efficiency there. Then Jokic gets a double-double early in the third with a 12-10 with 7 assists. And then energy from the Nuggets seems off. It seemed off from the beginning, but it really started to drain a little bit in the third. They were not having it. I don't know what's going on there. They were all off as they get turnovers and getting rocks, or they get racked up with frustrated offensive fouls. Like, you could see AG was just thoroughly frustrated, and it was showing. And it caused more turnovers and fouls. Blazers getting into the bonus, and Blazers take a 1-point lead. That's just, you can't do that. You can't have that happening. Cam then hits a much-needed 3. It was a very needed 3, not just for him, but for the Nuggets. And Jokic then gets a block followed, like he blocks a shot, followed by Tim Hardaway Jr. getting the drive with an air crossover plus the foul. Like, Tim Hardaway Jr., I'm telling you, he's doing his job. When a guy's doing his job, you got to do your job too. You can't let one guy do a job. It's a team sport, not just them, you know. You can't be leaving your guys out on an island. So Tim Hardaway Jr., he's doing his job. He scores a bucket plus a foul. Jokic then with a QB pass. This was a phenomenal pass. He passes it from one end of the court all the way down to P-Watt for the layup. Beautiful. Like, there was a lot of beautiful plays still. As horrible and gritty and gross and chaotic as this game was, there were still some beautiful plays by the Nuggets tonight. And I hope a couple of them show up on the top 10 of the NBA tonight. But, you know, we're going to try to stay positive here, and in the positive outlook, there were still some good plays. But overall, the communication was not there, and the controlling of the ball was not there. So Nuggets win the third, 24-18. Jokic played the entire quarter, the entire third quarter. Fourth quarter started. Obviously, because he played the third, you got to sit him out. So Nuggets start off with a lineup of Big Val, Brucey B, Tim Hardaway Jr., P-Watt, and Murray. Murray is the staggerer. So then the quarter starts off with Klingon getting a jam for the first bucket of the quarter. Right away. Like, you can't have that happening. Brucey B gets the first bucket for the Nuggets, followed by fouling Sharp, giving him a 3-point play. Not okay. Finally, Tim Hardaway Jr. drains a 3. After Blazers get back-to-back buckets, 6-point game. Like, I'm telling you, Tim Hardaway Jr. did his job tonight. He 100% did his job tonight. I'm not too mad at him. I'm upset at a lot more of the other Nuggets, but Tim Hardaway Jr., no. He did his job. Jokic checks back in at the 6:35 mark, and Blazers tied the game off of a Murray turnover. That's right. Murray turns it over. Jamal Murray, turns over the ball, and the Blazers tie it. Holiday then knocks down a 3. Drew Holiday knocks down a 3 to take a 1-point lead for the Blazers. I'm going to say this. When Drew Holiday got traded to the Portland Blazers, or the Portland Trailblazers, people were not afraid of that. People were not impressed. They were like, oh, you know, it's not going to be anything for them. That it shouldn't matter. Immediately, I knew that was going to be an issue for us. Drew Holiday is an amazing player. He is one of the main factors that the Bucks won their championship. He is one of the main reasons why the Celtics won their championship. And he's going to be a reason why the Trailblazers are a contender this season. He is the KCP factor to teams. Like, I don't think that we win our championship. As great as Jokic is, as great as Murray is, I don't think we win our championship without KCP. And I don't think the Celtics win their championship without Drew Holiday. I don't think the Bucks win their championship without Drew Holiday. I know the KCP hasn't been so great lately with their teams. I mean, he's decent with the Grizzlies right now, but I mean, Drew Holiday is phenomenal, and he's very annoying. He is such a pest on the defense. So I already knew that he was going to be a game changer for the Blazers. And here, case in point, this game was pure case in point. And the Trailblazers are going to be a huge issue. As soon as Dame comes back, they're going to be like probably a top. I want to say a top 4, top 3 team as soon as Dame comes back. And it's not going to be fun for the rest of the West. Like, it's already stacked, and that's going to be an issue because you got both of them on now, and it's not going to be fun for us. So I'm just going to say that right now. You might disagree with me, and that's fine. But Holiday is a huge factor for the success that any Trailblazer win is contributed to. So then Yoke floats in a spin. On the spin, he floats in the bucket, gets fouled, and gets Nuggets first to 100. Makes the and one, of course he does. Then Murray with a big 2 to give the Nuggets a 6-point lead with 2 left on the clock. We had 2 minutes left on the clock with 6-point lead. And they turned over the ball. They kept on turning over the ball, and they didn't make their shots. And this is how these things happen. So AG gets a fadeaway from 17 feet away to go in. I don't know how he got that one to go in, but that was a tough bucket to get in, and he did that. Finally, David Alleman calls a challenge. And before I talk about this, there were several plays in this game where David Alleman could have called a challenge, and he would have won. 100% he would have won. There was definitely 2 that he would have won, but he didn't challenge. All he did was stand there and argue with the ref. That was it. Like, he should have 100% challenged those calls. He would have won, and that would have made a difference in the game. Instead, he held on to them. I don't know why he likes to do this. He holds on to them and then challenges them against fouls that he shouldn't be challenging. He is terrible with challenges. I do not like this pattern right now with David Adelman. He needs to challenge when it's a good opportunity to challenge and not hold on to them. You can't take these challenges into the next game. So why are you holding on to them with seconds left in the game? If you get it right early on, then you get another chance to challenge it. So why hold on to it to the last? I don't understand that. I don't get it. And I know that there's some good reasons and everything, but that, to me, there's no good reason, because if you challenge it on a good opportunity, the challenge that you know you're going to win, you're going to get another challenge. So why wait and try to risk it towards the end? I just don't like that. And so he challenges a foul call that was on a defensive call on CB with 27 seconds left on the clock and a 2-point game. Unsuccessful. Sends Grant to the line for 2. He makes them, ties the game. And then horrible officiating happens. Calls on a reach-in, actually before this, so then it's Nuggets basketball, right? And they inbound the ball to Jokic, who gets wrapped around from behind. I think it was either Murray or Kamara, wraps their arms around him. Should have been a reach-around foul. It wasn't. They call it a jump ball. That is not a jump ball. I'm sorry, that's not a jump ball. That's a reach-around foul. And that obviously messes things up. They Jokic, as smart as he is, and he whispers to AG, "I'm going to tap it to you." He taps it to Aaron Gordon, and Aaron Gordon gets swarmed by like 3 different defenders, gets the ball blocked, and then it leads into a turnover, the outlet, and then they call timeout. They advance the ball, and then inbounding the pass, Aaron Gordon defends. It should go into overtime, and still this one ref calls a foul late. How are you going to call a foul late on when the game is on the line like that? Just let it go into overtime. And yet she goes straight to the table, and they don't even review the call. They'd only review what happened to see at what time it happened. Unbelievable. And so bad officiating calls a reach-in foul on Aaron Gordon. So they call a reach-in foul on Aaron Gordon, but not on Kamara on Jokic. That is crazy. With 1.4 left on the clock, and Grant goes to the line to make both free throws, gives them the 2-point lead that they need to win the fourth quarter, 38-26, and win the game 109-107. Unbelievable. Just puts a huge bad taste in the mouth. And so, like I said, there is a lot of factors in this, and I'm going to go into it in my big takeaway, but I mean, this was just not the loss you kind of want. You want them to play with good energy, and like the Golden State energy. That first game, they played with good energy, and they just lost to the better team on that one. They should have won that one. Golden State gave Nuggets multiple chances to win that game, and they couldn't close it, and then they ended up losing it in overtime. But this one, there was so many chances for us to win it, and yet our actions caused the bad officiating to get even worse. So let's get into the stats first before I get into my big takeaway. The stats here, we have Cam Johnson with 31 minutes, 9 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. He was 3 for 7 from field, 1 for 3 from 3, 2 for 2 from free throws, 0 turnovers, 2 personal fouls, was a plus 14. Of course he was a plus 14. He was actually a lot better than he was the rest of the time. I actually kind of thought that maybe, given the trajectory right now, I was thinking that he was going to be less than that. But man, he was not that bad tonight. He still got racked up with 2 unfortunate fouls, and one of them should have been challenged. And David Adelman held on to his freaking challenge. You can't take with you. Oh, that still annoys me. That annoys me. And as much of good vibes I'm trying to have, David Adelman not using his challenge when he needed to just really irks me. That was a very green call to do. Just very rookie coach play to do. So a decision to make. Aaron Gordon, also 31 minutes, had 14 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 5 for 11 from field, 0 for 2 from 3, 4 for 4 from free throws, 3 turnovers, 3 personal fouls, was a plus 4. Ever since his 50 game with the high efficiency on 3 and everything, he has been horrible with 3. I don't know what's going on with Aaron Gordon lately, but when I was watching the DNVR, there was a watcher there in the chat that brought up a good point. If you don't know the story of Aaron Gordon's brother and how he passed away in Portland. And you got to have some kind of, if you have ever lost someone, you would probably know that where you lost them has a deep impact on you. And so I'm sure every time that Aaron Gordon goes to Portland, that creeps into his head and that affects him. And so I'm going to give Aaron Gordon a pass on this game. As much as he was not with it, and how much he hasn't really been with it ever since the 50-point game against the Golden State, their opening, the season opener. I mean, that really is difficult to go into an area where your sibling or a loved one died, and so unexpectedly died. So that was a good reminder of oh yeah, that's right. His brother did die in Portland, so I give him a pass. Jokic played 37 minutes tonight, 21 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists. That also is a huge sting on this loss. Not only did we lose, Jokic lost his streak. He could have had a triple-double. He was 1 assist away, and he lost that. He could have had the record for most consecutive triple-doubles starting a season by a player. and yet he lost it. Now, a lot of people say, or not maybe a lot, but some people say, and some haters say, the triple doubles are overrated, or that you're focusing too much on the triple doubles. Why I care about the triple doubles is that the triple doubles don't just show how great Jokic is, it shows how great the Nuggets are, because Jokic doesn't get his triple doubles unless the team is making shots. If the team is making shots, the offense is great. The team was not making shots tonight. So that's an issue. 9 assists. I mean, if the Nuggets are making shots, even on a bad night, as long as they're making shots, that should still be up. I mean, that should have been at least 10. At least 10. That should have been a triple-double right there. And Jokic also had 1 steal, 2 blocks. He was 7 for 10 from field, 2 for 3 from 3, 5 for 7 from free throws. So he also missed a couple of free throws, not like him. He usually has been making his free throws this season. So, definitely off for most of the team here. 3 turnovers, 1 personal foul was a +9. Christian Brown played 30 minutes tonight, 5 points, 5 measly points for our CB. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 2 for 6 from field, 0 for 3 from 3, 1 for 3 from free throws, 4 turnovers, 5 personal fouls was a -1. Now, when I was in the locker room on that season opener in Golden State, CB didn't have a good game. Offensive game. He still had a decent defensive game, but he didn't have a great offensive game. And you could see it was written all over his face. There was a moment when I first came in that Jamal and him were chatting it up, and Jamal was kind of coaching him on what he should have done differently. So this is something that I feel like he's way too in his head. This is why I say he's way too in his head, because he's in a 4th year now, and he shouldn't really be coached so much anymore. Like, maybe you give a little pep talk here and there, like, yeah, stay with it, you're good, you're good, you're good. But he's kind of regressed a little bit, and that's what tells me that he's too much in his head. Because, of course, he already knows this. He's a pro. He's a candidate for most improved player last season. He should know to be better than this. And yet, he is still getting thrown off the 3 line. Like, he scurries away. He's not taking his threes. As soon as he catches it, he's not releasing. He's giving up open looks. That, like, as a 4th year, recently signed extension player, you should be making your shots. If not making your shots, at least just putting them up. Like, I give credit to Cam Johnson. This is why I don't get frustrated with Cam not making his shots. That's going to happen, and they will fall eventually. But at least he's trying to make them. CB's not even trying. That is crazy. Like, come on, CB. Just shoot it. So he was 0 for 3 and 1 for 2 in free throws, 4 turnovers, 5 personal fouls was a -1. Jamal Murray, with a bum leg, still played 34 minutes, still knocked down 22 points, still got 6 rebounds, still got 3 assists, still got 1 steal. He was 9 for 15 from field, so a 60% efficiency. Like, come on. Even on a bad game, he is still showing up a little bit there, as beat up as he was. You got to have help for your point guard, man. You got to have point. Come on. Like, what's going up? Like, that's definitely, like, as a shooting guard, you got to relieve a little bit of the stress being put on Jamal. Like, come on, CB. And then he was 1 for 4 and 3, so the threes were not falling down for Blue Arrow tonight. He was not Blue Arrow. He was more of just an arrow, or maybe not even an arrow. He was just the bow. And then he had 3 for 3 in free throws. He had 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls, was a -15. Bench-wise, obviously not too much to talk about on bench-wise, though there were only 4 players from the bench that were in the rotation for this. Tim Hardaway Jr., 22 minutes, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. He was 3 for 10 from field, 2 for 6 from 3 3 for 3 from free throws, 0 turnovers, 0 personal fouls, was a +2. Only a +2. Like, come on now. He should be higher than that. That is the kind of player that we needed tonight. Tim Hardaway Jr., man, I'm telling you, he did his job tonight. Peyton Watson, also 22 minutes, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 amazing steals, 1 amazing block. 3 for 7 from field, 0 for 2 from 3, 4 for 6 from free throws. Those 2 missed free throws were consecutive. 1 trip to the free throw line. He missed both free throws. You got to make at least 1. You got to. I mean, Paywatt, I will say, did play fairly well tonight. Still, you got to make your free throws. At least 1. 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls was a -8. Brucey B didn't have a great offensive night. He was a bit of a pest defense, which was awesome. He definitely caused a little bit of disruption in the some of the Portland players. He did have a block, so that's awesome. But he was a -4 tonight. He had 2 personal fouls. He didn't have any turnovers, though, which is also awesome. Big Val played 10 minutes, only 10 minutes tonight, and made 10 points. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. 4 for 8 from field, 2 for 2 from free throws, 2 turnovers, and 4 personal fouls. He was a -11. So that's it, because it was a short rotation tonight. So overall stats, you have Nuggets with 46 rebounds, Blazers with 43. So we out-rebounded them still. And yet they had, because we couldn't knock down shots and we turned over the ball, led to them scoring, getting a second chance, third chance, fourth chance, fifth chance. Like, you can't do that. 19 assists for us to their 26. 26 assists. That is stupid. I think Drew Holiday was the only player tonight with double-digit figure in assist. He had 13 assists. Not okay. Got to shut that valve off. 6 steals to their 11 steals. That's just stupid. 7 blocks to their 5. So we did outblock them. At least there's something. We shot 48% from field. They shot 41%. So pretty even there. 28. We shot 24% from 3. They shot 28%. So we shot 6. We got 6 for 25 threes tonight. We took 25 attempts, only made 6. They took 39 attempts and made 11. We were 80% from free throws. They were 71%. We had 16 turnovers. They only had 12. And then we had 21 personal fouls. They had 24. So right there, you look at those stats, and what the biggest takeaway I get from all that is the assists. The assists are more. That means that they were knocking down shots. But then you look at the percentage-wise, and most of the percentage is in favor of the Nuggets. So that is definitely a game where the Nuggets just handed the win over to the Trailblazers. And so I can put my conspiracy hat on, and I can start to go down the conspiracy theory trail, saying that, maybe Chauncey Billups made a call in jail, or I think he's out now, but whatever, he made a call and got that game overturned. The refs are starting to have their earpieces, so maybe they said, make sure the Nuggets don't win at all cost. Something, peculiar about the freaking shot clock not working. Maybe that was intentional. Maybe it's the refs. But the big thing is this. This was a rough game from start. The energy was already off from the Nuggets. Defense and offense were not clicking. Portland really disrupted the offense. And on the other end, the zone defense with the Nuggets were playing wasn't working on the Blazers. Then you had the shot clock issues, which affected the energy even more with the Nuggets than it did to the Blazers. And then David Adelman, with those 2 great opportunities to call a challenge, didn't. He held on to them like it was gold, and like he was Smaug in his little gold mountain, trying to save them all up. but it didn't work. He did the challenge when he shouldn't have, got an unsuccessful challenge, which then when it counted the most, and we knew there was going to be a rough game like this season, but this one really stings with how rough it really made the Nuggets look. To top it all off, Jokic missed his 5th consecutive triple-double by 1. So the Nuggets need to rebound from this and win the next 3 NBA Cup games, which are not going to be easy. We are in the death group. If you look at what we are, we have the Spurs, the Trailblazers, which we already lost to. You have the Warriors, and you have the Rockets. We are in the death group. If you haven't already looked at it, we are in the death group. Every other group, we are in groups C in the West. Group C in the East also has a death group on that side in terms of the rankings of the Eastern teams. But then everyone else, there's one team in those sections that have it so easy. And so it's going to look really rough for the Nuggets. And it just starts with responsible playing with the ball. And I'm at the point where we probably flush this game and on to the next, because the bigger takeaway from this is that we are only in Game 5. There are still 77 more games left. Unfortunately, there's only 3 more games for the Cup. So pretty much almost, unless no team has undefeated ratings in this tournament, if that happens, then we still have a chance. Otherwise, there's pretty close to no chance that we can win this Cup now. But these games still count towards regular season wins. So we still need to win these games and focus more on the championship rather than this Cup. And that's really what it's going to come down to. It's just recenter, refocused, and stay true to what how you got those other big wins, how you got that amazing win against the Timberwolves. Focus on that, control the ball, and make sure that these stupid turnovers don't happen, that you don't get disrupted by this swarming defense. Help each other out, communicate, and hopefully we'll get back onto some good track there. But I'm still hopeful. Like I said, there's still 77 more games. There's still lots of time to show how great the Nuggets are, and I do believe they are great. But this was definitely some growing pains here. This is a game that you didn't really want to lose because you have so many haters chirping at that they have really easy wins. But I will remind you, Timberwolves is not an easy win. It's not an easy win. I guarantee you they are going to be in the playoffs this next season. And they are still going. As soon as Ant's back, they're going to be even more challenging. But there was still a well fought and well earned win against them. I stand by that, with or without Ant. And we do have one good win on us. One good win, 2 should wins with easy teams, and then one really tough, but real fought out loss against the Golden State Warriors. And then this one is I feel like the worst loss, because the Trailblazers, they're a good team. They're not a great team like the Warriors. They're not a great team like the Spurs. They're not a great team like the OKC, the Dust Bunnies. Spurs, though, I will give the fact that they have played a lot of easy teams as well. So I don't know how great they are right now. I don't have a lot of faith in the Rockets, though I do know that they are still a dangerous team. And so the Trailblazers, they're going to be within the top 6, maybe 7 teams, I think, by the end of the season. I don't think they're in the top 4. I honestly don't. I don't think they're in the top 4. And so the fact that they are a meh team right now and we've lost to them, the second season in a row where we've lost to the Trailblazers at Portland in almost buzzer beater fashion, that cannot stand. So we need to be able to win the games against these kind of teams where they should be winning, and need to get back, regroup. We have a 4-game homestand now, where we play the Kings on Monday, the 3rd, and then we have a day off, and then we face the Miami Heat, then have a day off, and then we have our first back-to-back, where we have our the game against the Kings. You should win against them, especially in Denver. You should win against them. The Miami Heat, who I feel are better this season than they were last season, you should still win against them. And then you have your first challenge on Friday the 7th against Golden State in Denver. So already know that we lost against them in the Bay. Now they're in our turf. I feel like we still should win this game. And it will be a good win if we do. And then the back-to-back part of that is the second game on the 8th is against the Indiana Pacers, who have not won a single game so far. They are so beaten up. So many of their team, or of the team, is out with injuries. So they are hobbling along right now. So you definitely, back-to-back or not, you should be winning that game 100%. So there's a nice 4-game homestand, and then you have 2 days off, and then you're back to another back-to-back. And it starts to get a little bit more difficult. So at least enjoy this next 4 games. And this shouldn't be an easy home game stand anyways, but it should be at least enough to show that you are still a good team. And that's kind of what we want to kind of present to make a statement, right? So Nuggets are still good. Despite this loss, despite how bitter this loss is and how much it stings, the Nuggets are still good. And I still have a lot of faith in them. Again, there's 77 more games left. But let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. I know there's going to be a lot of frustrated feelings about this. I feel the frustration myself. But you have to also understand not to be reactionary so much when there's only 5 games. 5 games doesn't tell you a ton, but it does tell you a little bit of something. And again, we still had that amazing, let's hold on to that amazing win against the Timberwolves, because that does say something. And even the loss says something positive. The loss against Golden State says something positive about the Nuggets. So this is the first ugly loss that we've had, and you can't get past the ugly losses. Even OKC last season had an ugly loss. So it's going to happen. And now it's just, can you rebound from this? How do you make sure that this doesn't bleed into the next games? And as I asked David Adelman in the press conference after the game, the post-game conference, how do you make this not bleed into the next game? And his response was, because there's 81 more games. Well, now because there's 77 more games. The only time where that doesn't work is when it starts to be like, okay, well, there's 50 more games, or there's 30 more games. Like sometimes you got to get it together. But right now we're still in the phase where, okay, well, there's still 77 more games. There's still 77 more chances to show you are a dominant team. And I think that they can do that. I stand by that. So that's pretty much all I got for this episode, though. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. Share it out to your friends and family. And if you do feel gracious enough to give me a donation, I would really appreciate it. The link is in the description below, as well in my bio. I'll give you a shout out, as well as if you wanted to give a take yourself or a comment, I'll read it on camera on the next episode. Happy to do that, and you'd be a great aspect to the history of this podcast, but definitely appreciate it if you do. And you've been listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about the Nuggets with good vibes. We'll catch you later.